Okay, so hi everyone. I am Teammiller15 and welcome to another one of my classes on grammar. So today we're going to do another grammar Q&A session. I already did. I've done two in the. I did two in the past, but this will be the third one. Um, So I'll be taking questions, and of course, as I said earlier, do try to make your questions as specific as possible. Um, just so they'll be easier to understand. Like if you ask a question about what the difference is between the past simple and present perfect, well, I mean, I won't be able to answer that very easily. But if you ask me which one you'd use in a certain situation, well, that I could answer. But anyway, let's go ahead and start taking requests. Abbage, you may come up.
Hello, teacher.
Hi.
My question will be about a verb followed by a gerund or infinitive.
Okay.
Okay, so I've seen a few examples. For example, I'll never forget visiting the Tower of London. Okay, this is the first. And the second one is David always forgets to visit his grandmother. Now, in those examples, the verb is followed by a gerund and then by infinitive. I didn't really understand that.
Okay, so you're trying to understand when you should use a gerund or an infinitive after a verb.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good question. Honestly, I think it just depends. It just depends on the verb. So, for example, you can't really say I for I forget. You can say I forget to wash the dishes, but not I forget washing the dishes. Um, but you can also
Yeah,
say
and that's exactly my question. Why is the difference?
that's. I think that's. I don't think there's a. I don't think there's a general rule for that. I think it's something that just depends on the verb. So, actually, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if. Maybe there's a. Maybe there is. Maybe there is some sort of rule that I could use. Okay. Okay. So, um, there doesn't. I found this. I found this page. It lists a bunch of common verbs, that take the infinitive, and some that take a gerund. Um, but from what I've seen, I don't think there's a general rule. I think it's something that you'll just have to learn on a case by case basis. Unfortunately.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Here, let me link the page that I found. Um, and oh right, I forgot. There are also times where you could actually use both. So you could say I like to swim and I like swimming. So it's so yeah, it's. Oh, what are you about to say?
Yeah, that's exactly just like with the example of forget. You can say forget visiting or forget to visit. Either works.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this is just some verbs just take it, some don't. I think it's just something you'll have to learn on a case by case basis.
Oh, what a bummer. Okay, thank you so much.
Sorry. Yeah, no problem. Okay. And sometimes they're interchangeable, nevermore, but sometimes they're not. Again, it just depends on the situation. With the list I just linked there, some verbs are commonly followed by an infinitive. Some are commonly followed by a gerund. So it depends. I don't think there's a general rule for it. And of course, there are some verbs that can take both, but again, there doesn't seem to be a general rule. Okay, let me go and. Oh, okay. Let's. Okay. Your turn. You may come up on stage.
Hi,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, so it's a question answer of grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a question that when we need grammar, because uh, we are beginner and we don't know when it comes to grammar to need.
Okay, that's actually a really good
Yeah.
question. So,
Yeah.
okay, so, um,
Mm.
if you're a beginner, I
Yeah.
recommend not focusing on grammar at this stage because a lot
Okay.
of a lot of it's not going to make any sense to you, and it's really something that's meant for more advanced students who have enough experience with the English language, and so when they go back to the
Okay.
grammar, yeah, it'll make sense to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
but some say that if you just see some words, or you just want to make short your sentence, so that's why they say that you have to learn some grammar, because the grammar makes some sentences short. If I'm talking to you, so some words like if I'm saying that word, so that sentence is going long. So if I have to short the sentence, so they say that you will learn grammar.
so the thing about that is that grammar can really only help you speak or write better. It can't help you speak or write. So if you're a beginner where you can't really do much speaking or writing,
Okay.
then grammar's not
Yeah.
really going to help you. I mean, it won't hurt to learn, but the best way to learn uh, any language as a beginner is to just simply immerse yourself in it and
Okay.
save the grammar for much later, because then it'll make more sense to you and then you can just use that grammar to clean up your sentences. But
Yeah.
if you focus so much on it at the beginning, then you really won't be able to speak or write as fluently as you could, because
Yeah.
you'll be so nervous wondering, "Oh, is this sentence correct? Oh, did I use this sentence correctly? Oh, is this
Yeah.
verb
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
These things comes in mind when we talking to someone, and they just avoiding that our sentences, that they didn't got our mistake. If we doing mistake, so they didn't got it. They didn't see. They just say, okay, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah.
okay. I think
Yeah.
some teachers do that because they want you to focus more on just communicating rather than being correct.
Yeah. 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 That's the best thing.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
communication matters. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the focus on language learning really should be on communication and not on grammatical
Yeah.
accuracy. Because that accuracy could always come later, but you need to focus on being able to communicate and be understood. So that's what
Yeah.
language learning should be about. So,
Or and if you became when you come at this stage, when you master, when you understand what people saying, when you going in the flow, talking like a native speaker, and talking like a professional, or like a accent, so that time you need grammar, or you just okay.
yeah, and then that time you can choose to take grammar if you want. It might help you, especially with writing. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's like, okay, yeah, when you go back to it, you'll be like, okay, I know this and this and this and this. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Let me fix that. And see, it'll make more
Oh.
sense to you then. So,
Mm, yeah.
so that's when grammar should be that's when grammar should be learned when you already have a good foundation of the language and
Yeah,
not.
yeah. Cause right now I can't say that I'm perfect. I can't say cause it's cause the knowledge which I have it's not enough. I think I have to learn more as much as I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm,
So yeah, don't stress about grammar at the
yeah.
beginning. I recommend not learning it in the beginning. Just
No,
save
it's
that
just
for
my
later.
question. That it's
Yeah.
just yeah, it's just my question. Yeah, and you just clear my doubts. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, yeah. Have a nice day.
You too.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no problem.
Oh,
But yeah, as he was saying, and that was a good question to ask. Yeah, save the grammar for later. You don't need it at the beginning, at the first stages during the first stages of language learning. You don't need that. Like it's grammar can only refine what you already know, and if you don't know much, then it's not going to do much. So yeah, just save the grammar for later. The focus should be on communication and self-expression, as Alan G. you would say in his classes, which I recommend because he he has plenty of great classes on pronunciation and describing pictures and active reading. So I recommend his classes. His are more communication focused, which is how language learning should be. You focus on communication, not so much on grammar, more on communication. Grammar can always come later. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, you may come up to the stage.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, hello, I'm nice to meet you. I'm new here in Discord server, and I'm so glad that I'm here.
Cool.
And yeah, so my question is, how can I remember where I should write article the?
Articles. So articles, you mean like A, N, and the, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now that one is quite, yeah, articles are quite difficult for non-natives because some natives speak some people, some of these people don't have articles in their own language. So um I'd say the best way to learn these when to use articles is to just simply listen to how natives use them and imitate that, because there are some general rules but they don't always hold, and that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
some, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, sometimes they just don't make any sense and we just say it. um so to learn them best, I would just, like, you can learn a few general rules to help you, but there'll be times where those rules won't help you, and at that point all you can just do is learn articles on a case by case basis. So like certain phrases will use articles and certain ones won't. So it's something you'll have to expose yourself to a lot to get a feel for it.
Yes, exactly. You're right. And also, my second question and last question,
Hmm.
just for you. So, what do you prefer, American accent or English accent? I mean, Britain accent.
um I guess I'd prefer I guess I'd prefer the American one.
Yeah,
um
same.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with either one, but I just like the American one more, which is understandable because that's the one I use, but I just like ours more.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so thanks so much. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Where am I from? I'm from the United States. You can actually see what dialect I speak by clicking on my username, I believe. Right? Yeah. Oh, well, no, you can't. That's not there anymore. But yeah, I have AME in my username, so that means American English dialect. So, yeah, I speak American English. I am from the United States. I was born here, and I've lived here all my life. So, I live in Texas, to be more specific. But, yeah, I don't really sound like it. I don't have much of a southern accent. But, yes, I am from the United States. See, the dialect thing, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Like, for example, in American English, we pronounce the r's, like we don't really do an ah sound. It's more of an sound. So instead of saying father, we would say father. So that can actually make our dialect easier to understand. But at the same time, there's something about our dialect that's harder to understand. We don't really pronounce the T's like Brits do. We don't really say, I'm trying to think of an example. Oh yeah, we don't say water or water. That's how they would say it. We would say water. So we flap our T's. So that can be confusing to some people, especially when our D sound is very similar. So ladder, as in like a ladder you climb on, and ladder, as in the former and the latter. Well, those sound pretty much the same in that dialect, or there's at least at most a very slight difference. So yeah, I'd say they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Though I honestly like our accent more. But anyway. Let me just... There's one more question I want to answer in the chat before going back to the raised hands. Can you use your writing skills to improve in a conversation? I would say no. I mean, it would help you speak more grammatically, but the best way to improve your speaking abilities is to listen. Do a lot of listening. Listening helps with speaking. How can I improve speaking skills without speaking? Well, yeah, you listen. As I said, you just listen. Listening helps with speaking. So if you do a lot of listening, the speaking will eventually come out on its own. Do you also say butter instead of butter? Well, we don't really pronounce it with the D sound, so butter would not sound right. Unless we were like emphasizing that part of the word. But I don't know. We would just flap the T. Is accent important if you want to sound professional? I don't think it's important, really, because there are plenty of non-native speakers over here in the United States teaching in colleges and universities, and they sound professional, even though they have an accent, which ranges from slight to thick. They sound professional. So really, accent is not really important if you want to sound professional. As long as you can be understood, then you're fine. How do you pronounce particular? Particular. That's how I pronounce it. Okay. But let me go ahead and go back to the hands. So you have an invite now. I forgot who I just invited. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi. If I tell you that, I would prefer it if you didn't tell anyone about something. Am I asking you not to do that in the future, or I am blaming you for disclosing my secret already?
Actually, I'm
I
sorry.
would
Could you?
prefer it.
Okay, go ahead and repeat it. Yeah.
I would prefer it if you didn't tell anyone.
Oh, okay. That's actually a good question. It depends on the context. It could mean either thing. It could mean that A, someone hasn't done it, but you don't want them to, or B, they already did it and you don't want them to do it again. So it depends on the context.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No problem. Okay. Is every state in the U.S. Does every state in the U.S. have their own dialect? No, but there are certain regions in the U.S. that have their own dialect. Like, for example, African American Vernacular English, or AAVE for short. That dialect is used mainly in the southern states. I live in Texas and I hear it all the time, so I would know. Um, but in but there are other like dialects. Actually, that I can't really think of any others right now. But AAVE is one of the prominent ones. So it depends on the region. I wouldn't say every state has a dialect, but certain regions of the states have a dialect. Let's see. Shell and cell. I mean, one has a sh sound and one has a s sound, so they're both quite different. Shell and cell. So if you know the sh and the s sound, then you know it. Then you won't really get confused. Though sometimes there's confusion with pronunciation, because in your native language you might have one sound but not the other, or both sounds might sound very similar to you, but to a native they sound very different. So I understand that. Teacher, I really love your speaking. You speak so cool. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of all these questions in the chat. If you're having trouble making sentences, the only way to fix that is to just keep exposing yourself to English. Like, you do, keep listening and keep reading, and eventually you'll be able to form sentences. I remember that I once had trouble making sentences in Spanish, but over time, with more exposure, I was able to form sentences more easily. It's just something that that has to come out on its own. Oh, I'm 26. I don't sound like it, but I'm 26. I think someone asked one more question. I can't. Oh, you had better not do it. Same meaning? You mean same meaning as... I'm not sure what you're... Oh, you're talking about I prefer... You're talking about that question someone asked earlier, right? I'd prefer it if you blah blah blah. No, this one has a stronger emphasis, has a stronger meaning. When you say you had better not do it, it's almost like you're demanding that someone not do something. So, no, you don't need to study grammar to form sentences in English or in any other language. Grammar is not going to help you do that. It won't. For now, just focus on listening and reading as much as you can. Okay, let's go back to the hands. Okay, you have an invite.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi for everyone. Firstly, sorry for my English because our English education is limited.
That's okay.
Very much. What can I what can I say? My question is why we use three kind words?
Why do you what? I'm sorry, what?
We in English why we use three kind words?
I'm sorry, you're saying use what verbs?
Can I?
Do you want to like type an example in the chat maybe? Maybe I can understand what you mean. Oh, three versions of verbs. Is that what he's saying?
Three words? Yes.
Oh. So, you mean like present present tense, present past tense and then past participle? Is that what you're talking about maybe? Or oh yeah, that's okay. So he's asking about that. That's what I was thinking. Okay. I don't know why that is. I mean, it's I'd say it's like that's a good question. I don't know why.
I am very sorry.
Yeah, I think that's just.
Very like that. And my heart is very fasting.
Okay. So I think this might be because I think it's just like I'm not sure how it is in. Well, actually, to be honest, I just don't know why there are three forms. It's just and the funny thing is that sometimes those last two forms, got and gotten, in other verbs they're typically the same. Like they're in regular verbs, these forms are the same. So it's like spent. I'm sorry, spend and then spent and then spent again. So, but honestly, I don't know why. Like that's the thing about grammar. No one knows why something is. It just is.
And just
yeah. So yeah, I don't know why we have those three forms. And there's technically a fourth form that would be the present participle. So like getting or working, but yeah, I don't know why we have those forms. Exactly. It is what it is. So yeah, that's the only answer I have. That's just how language works.
I am not able.
Okay. So
I can say my English education is limited. Because the
it's okay. Oh, go ahead.
I know.
Oh, it's okay. Like it's okay. I mean, that's why you're on. That's why you've come to this server. Like this server has so many amazing teachers, both native and non-native. So you'll have plenty of English practice here. But anyway, do you have any other questions for me? Yeah, I would say so too, Malik. But like, I'm just wondering if he has any other questions. Oh, I guess he doesn't have any other. Okay, well, if you don't have any other questions, you can just go ahead and move back to the audience. But thank you for coming up.
Can I exit it because I am not.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
I am good.
Okay. See you later. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, how to speak fluently like me? Well, it comes with exposure. You have to immerse yourself in the language. You don't necessarily have to go to a country that speaks that language. You just need to surround yourself with material, like listening and reading material in the target language. How can I pronounce TH perfectly? It's something you're just going to have to practice. If you can afford it, you can go work with an accent coach. Or you can just look up, like, there are free resources on YouTube. Like, there's this one woman. She has a channel called Hadar's Accent Way. I highly recommend her. She's very good with pronunciation. So, yes. So if you have any problems with pronunciation, you could go to her. But of course, there are other free resources that can help you pronounce that th sound, or the. It depends on whether or not the sound's voiced. But anyway. Let me go. It's raining outside, so if you hear like thunder, that's why. Okay, let's go. Ooh, plenty of requests. Okay. You have an invite.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
So, hello everyone. Hello, teacher.
Hi.
I would like to question you. So, have I need to bone up grammar on Apostrophe test?
You want to what? I'm sorry, what?
Did I have to bone up grammar on Apostrophe test?
I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to understand what you're saying. I know you said something about grammar. You said you have to what with grammar?
Bone up, it means what? Yeah, it's what grammar on the TOEFL test. To learn a lot, I mean.
Okay, oh, you're saying you have to warm... I thought you said warm up, so... You have to...
No, bone up, I said.
Oh. Maybe, I think it might... Maybe it'd be easier if you wrote your question in the chat, and I could just answer it that way. Because, I'm sorry, it's just the quality of your mic makes it kind of hard to hear you clearly. Oh. Oh, so that's what you mean. Okay, so you're asking how you should... I'm assuming you mean improve, or like get your grammar ready for that test. I assume that's what you mean.
Need I have to?
Okay. So I'm guessing you're asking how you can prepare for that test. Okay. Well, I've never taken that test, and I don't really know much about it. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. So, I'm not exactly sure how you could prepare for that, but there are plenty of grammar resources online that you can use. I would stick with the ones that... I mean, and this is just my personal recommendation, I would stick with the ones that teach you the grammar that's actually going to be useful to you. So, like, teaching you the differences between the tenses rather than teaching you what a noun is, because you don't need to know what a noun is. No one needs to know that, honestly. But yeah, there are plenty of free grammar resources online, including my YouTube channel, which I have not linked for some reason. But see, I have never taken that test, so I don't know exactly how to prepare for it. So if anyone has in the chat, like, they could definitely type in how to prepare for it, and I would be grateful for that. But regarding grammar itself, yeah, there are plenty of free resources online. Let me post mine for really fast. Oh, no, that's not mine. That's not my channel. That's my gaming channel. At my YouTube channel, sorry, not my YouTube channel. My English channel is this one. That's my YouTube channel. I have two. That's just one of them. That's my gaming channel. But this one here is the one I linked just now. That's my English channel. The channel where I teach English. Yeah, I game. Quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, like, even my profile picture has a GameCube on it. I've always had that as my profile picture.
Okay, so thank you very much and have a nice day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no problem. You too. Okay. He also asked, can you explain future perfect continuous? Oh, wait, hold on. Someone asked, is this class going to be recorded? Yeah. I said it in the beginning, but I'll say it again. You probably weren't here in the beginning. So I record all my classes and post them on this channel. So the channel I just linked. So if you miss those classes, you can just watch the recordings. Okay. The Myth says that he's a Just Dance pro. Yeah, I play a lot of Just Dance. I'm taking a break from that, though. My legs are tired. Okay, but anyway. How do I pronounce the @ sign, please? Well, it's just @ It means @, so you pronounce it as @. Okay, can you explain future perfect continuous? Well, I think it's easier if I just show you an example between well, hold on first. Okay, so let me explain it this way. And after this, I have to get back to these raised hands because I have quite a bit. Oops. I can't English today. Okay, so let's say we have these two sentences. I will have completed the assignment by then. I will have been completing the assignment by then. Okay, so the first one means that when at a certain time the assignment will be completed. But the second one means that the second one means that you won't exactly finish the assignment by then, but you will be in the process of finishing the assignment. So it implies some sort of incompletion here, if that makes sense. So that's the difference between the future perfect and the future perfect continuous. The first one implies completion, the second one doesn't, if that makes sense. Okay. Let me go back to these hands. Oh wait, hold on. What's the most common mistake people do on grammar? Oh, it should be people make. That would be one mistake. Do versus make. People mix those two up. Because if you speak a language like Spanish or Portuguese, these two are mapped to the same word. So that's a common mistake. But another mistake would be capitalization, definitely. Yeah, you can ask a question. Well, as I said, the difference between I will be completing the assignment by then. Well, actually, that's slightly different from I will have been completing the assignment by then. If you say I will have been completing the assignment by then, sorry, I misunderstood your question. So, I will be completing the assignment by then. That implies that there was no previous progress up to that point. But I will have been completing the assignment by then means that you were already working on the assignment for a while, and you're still not going to be able to that you're still not going to have it finished by then. So, if that makes sense. So, I will be completing doesn't imply any sort of previous progress, if that makes sense. Like, any progress before that point. Yeah, I played Minecraft and taught English that way. Okay, let me go back to these hands. Mark, you may come up.
Hey man, what's up?
Hey.
So I've been having this question since a long time, and I want to ask, like, what should I do to improve my accent?
I think the best way to do that is to just do a lot of listening and pay close attention to how natives pronounce certain sounds that you have problems with and imitate that. Because the more listening you do, the better your accent becomes. And of course, it doesn't hurt to go and look for resources online about accents. Because there are plenty of free resources, particularly from YouTube, where you can improve your pronunciation. So, but if you don't want to use those, then all you really have to do is just do a lot of listening, and eventually your accent will diminish over time. So just listening and practicing. So hopefully that answers your question.
So only like how is my accent? I've been practicing since a couple of months, maybe like 5, 6. I don't know. My accent was pretty shit so when I started, and I think it's gotten better. But I want to know if it's kind of, you know.
It's not bad. In fact, it's barely noticeable. So your accent is actually quite good.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will leave now.
Okay, see you later. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, see, I'm having a lot of questions in the classes chat, so sometimes it might be better for you to just raise your hand, so that way it'd be easier for me to attend to your question. Yeah, like someone did just here. So let's go ahead and invite him or her up.
Hey guy, how
Hi.
are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good too. I have a question for you. It's the difference about present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Can I?
Oh no, that's fine. So, oh hi Maple, but
Can I make one example for you?
yeah, go ahead, perfect, yeah.
I have been studying English since 2016, and I have studied English since 2016. I don't know what are the correct answer, but I think that they both are correct. I don't have any sure.
Yeah, actually, I saw that and I replied to it like 1 minute ago, so I can see why you didn't see it. But the first, if you say I've been studying English, that makes it sound as though you aren't done studying English. But the second one makes it sound like you're finished studying English. So if you're going to use I've been studying, that implies that you're not finished, that you started in the past and you're still doing it up to this day. But I've studied
Yes,
means that, yeah.
yeah, but they too starts in the past, start in the past and continue in the present, right?
I'm sorry, for which form?
Present perfect and present perfect and present perfect continuous.
Oh, okay. Yes. But the main difference between these two is that the present perfect without the ing form, the action started in the past but is completed in the present, whereas the other one means that it started in the past but continues into the present, so it's not quite finished in the present like the other one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand. I got it.
Okay. That's good.
Thanks, bro.
No problem.
You are a good. You are a good teacher.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Mhm.
All right, no problem. Aspect is a key characteristic of differentiating tenses. Exactly. It really just, yeah, and that's the thing about aspect. It's just quite difficult for non-natives to grasp if your language doesn't have an equivalent. Or even if your language does have an equivalent, sometimes it's still hard because your language might use that aspect a bit differently in some situations. So, yeah, aspect is quite important with regard to verbal tenses because you can have a combination of tense and aspect and mood as well. So, and by mood I mean things like subjunctive, indicative, imperative, stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, regarding these tense combinations, tense aspect, mood combinations, the best way to learn them is to just expose yourself to them over and over again. Eventually your brain will understand, oh, okay, so I use this here, but not that. So you'll know, okay, so I can say something like, I went there yesterday, but not I've gone there yesterday. Because I've gone there yesterday does not make any sense. You can't use the present perfect in that situation because that event has no relation to the present. Key because of the word yesterday, of course. But anyway. Yeah, that's the thing. Like sometimes the imperfective aspect can differ between languages. So just because you have it and you're studying another language that has it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get it right. But yeah, regarding the Spanish and French imperfect, there is a lot of overlap. So there is one difference is that the Spanish imperfect has a base tense, like a simple and a continuous form, but the French it's just the simple form that's used for both. So you have to learn from the context which one it is. But anyway, yeah, just watch out for aspect. Okay, you were already here before, but again, I said you could request to speak multiple times. So come up onto the stage.
Hi again.
Hi.
So my second question is, I have such a problem when I speak with somebody and I say, for example, I can do this or I can't. Some people can understand what I mean. They think when I said I can't, they hear that I say I can. So what should I do for people to understand me?
So so you're asking like, I guess some people can't tell when you say can and when you say can't.
Yes, they can understand what I mean. They think vice versa. Like they think that I said can't or can, but I mean another one.
Okay. Yeah, Maple actually provided some good suggestions here. You could exaggerate the final T, so like really pronounce it. So you could say, I can't do that. Or you can just use cannot instead, but that would make you sound slightly more formal depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
So just,
True.
yeah. So just try to really pronounce that final T. And hopefully people can understand what you mean.
Yes, exactly. Okay, thanks so much.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, before I go back to the hands, there are a few questions here in the chat. Is it possible to form a present perfect continuous sentence without giving the exact time that happened in the past? Yeah, you can. I don't see why you can't. Like, you could say, I've been working so hard on this assignment. Like, that can work. Yeah, you don't have to give an exact time. And more often than not, the context will make that the time clear. So, no, you don't really have to. Maple has actually provided some really good suggestions here. Should the present perfect be used in this case? Yeah, it doesn't have to be. You could have just taken out the has. Like, you could say, like, I don't remember which form I used just now, but you can use either present. Like, there are times where you could use either the present perfect or past simple, and it really will not mean much. And it's just a matter of preference. I mean, there'll be a meaning difference, but it'll be so slight as to be pretty much inconsequential. Oh, I used the past simple? Well, you can use the present perfect if you want. And regarding the present perfect and past simple usage of those two tenses, apparently Americans seem to have, well, in cases where they're interchangeable, Americans seem to have a preference towards towards past simple, and Brits tend to prefer the present perfect. But again, that's only in cases where they're interchangeable. Let's see. So yeah, in this case, it does not matter. When I want to say I will do it in the evening, it's in, right? Because my teacher always says that it's on, and I don't think she's right. Yeah, I wouldn't say on in that case. I can't name a single dialect of English that would ever say on. We would just say in. There are times where you can actually, there are times where you could, like, where there are multiple choices for prepositions. Like, for example, and over here in America, we say, I'll do it on the weekend, but Brits would say, I'll do it at the weekend. So that's one case. That's a special case where the preposition usage varies, but both are grammatical. So, but yeah. In this case, we would just say in. As somebody else said, it's in. So yeah, you did use it correctly. Yeah, the present perfect implies that an action has some sort of relation to the present. The past simple doesn't imply that. So yeah, like the past simple implies that an event is disconnected from the present. But really, there are times where you can use either and it will not matter. Is this sentence correct? I haven't had any symptoms, and neither has Sophia. Yeah, that's correct. And that's one case. I mean, that's one case where the present perfect and past simple would actually have a very different meaning. So they wouldn't be interchangeable here. I mean, yeah, I'm from the US. It's technically in my username. AME means American English, that dialect. No, you don't focus on your grammar until you're at an advanced stage. Really, just don't focus on it for now. Okay, Oh, you were the one who asked that question, Maple? I'm sorry, I thought it was someone else. I was like, okay, so yeah, you were just joking. I'm just being silly. But anyway, I did mention I was from Texas earlier, though. Okay, let me go back to these hands. You may come up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Hello, brother. How are you doing? A really good lesson you're giving there. And
Thank you.
hello to everybody in the, online. What do you call this room?
The classes chat. That's what we call this channel.
Okay. Anyway, brother, I was having this, kind of problem in this English kind of thing, because in the past when I give interview for one of the jobs, they wanted for me to get, professional English. So I was thinking how I get professional English. I thought I should go for British, because British, sound high class, hi mate, things like this, So I write my assignment all in British, British accent. Hi mate, how are you mate, and things like this. Dear mate, I don't know how I wrote it. Anyway, this all the story, and my CV got rejected. Bro, I have a question for you, okay? How I differentiate between on, at, in, of, over, under, these kind of things, because brother, they confuse me all the time. Bro, like sometimes they use on for something that's not used for at, and at for something not used for in, and bro, so it's like a map of America now, like where I can get this, knowledge.
Okay, so the best way to understand prepositions is to just see them used in context over and over and over again. And the funny thing about them is, exactly, Maple. That's the thing. Like, there really isn't a lot of logic to them, or any general rules. It's just something you have to really listen to over time, and eventually you'll just get a feel for them. So it's something you just have to listen to over and over again until you.
Okay. So no general rule, like
Yeah.
Because my teacher used to teach me. She told me at is for time, on is when you put something on top of something. I don't know, this kind of, well, it is so confusing. Anyway, I am doing this exam while listening to your lesson. And I come across this question. Okay, can you answer for me? It is in one of the exams I'm taking right now. Just one question, okay? The plane has arrived, or was arriving, or did arrive, or arrived at New York 3 hours late. It's English kind of thing.
Okay, well, what do you think the answer is? Like, did you choose an answer?
No, not yet. I was waiting for you to solve it for me. But I think it has arrived, because the plane has arrived at New York. But maybe it did arrive. This is scaring me, like did arrive or has arrived. I don't know.
Okay,
yeah.
So what was the sentence again?
Let me tell you. The plane has arrived, was arriving, did arrive, and arrived at New York 3 hours late. How do it?
Okay. Okay. So normally, as Maple just said here, we don't really help people with exams, but but so I'll tell you what. So I'll help you come to the right answer on just this one exam
Oh,
question instead of just outright telling you. So.
thank you so much. Thank
Uh huh. So okay. So if it said, so it says 3 hours late, right?
you. Yeah.
So that would imply that this event has no relation to the present, and the present
True.
and the present perfect has no relation to the present. Sorry, it does have a relation to the present. So, do you think the present perfect would be suitable here?
Uh, uh,
Oh, well, let me.
Wait, no, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think it's has arrived. I think. But
Okay.
I'm counting on you. Okay, I'm gonna choose has arrived. Okay.
Well, no. If it's three, it says 3 hours late. So, well, you for one thing, you shouldn't use the past perfect because it would not make sense in that case. It has to with the past perfect, you have to have additional context for it to make sense, and there's no other
Oh,
context there.
I understand.
So
Okay.
if it's not the present perfect or past perfect, what do you think it is?
I think it is. I think it is past because you said it not relating to the present.
Okay, so what would the answer be if it's the past tense?
Shit. Wait. There is two types of past tense. There is did arrive and arrive. What's the difference?
So did arrive is like it's when you're emphasizing an action. So so if someone says something like, "Oh, the train didn't arrive," and you would say, "No, it did arrive." That's when you would use it. Like if you want to emphasize an action. Yeah.
Okay. When I talk to someone and I tell him, "Hey, it did that." Okay. No. So it's arrived. The answer is arrived.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Anyway, I'm gonna dip now. See you, everybody. Best teacher. Well, see
No
you. Bye.
problem. Okay. But anyway. um yeah, so normally we don't really help people with tests, but I mean, I just figured, okay, I'll just help him through it just this once on that one question. But yeah, like no more test questions because this is supposed to test your knowledge, not someone else's. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Hand requests. Okay, so I see you want to talk again. Come on up to the stage.
Hey teacher, thank you for having me again.
Uh-huh.
My question is, how can I pick grammar by reading books?
How can you what?
How can I pick up grammar, learn grammar by reading any storybooks?
Oh, now that's a really good question. So, see, if you really want to get a really natural understanding of grammar as you are learning it, the language, I mean, it is to just read a lot because reading will expose you to standard English, like English in a very grammatically accurate form. So, more often than not, anyway. So, the best way to pick up grammar through reading is to pick books that are just above your level, like slightly above your level, but to the point where you can understand mostly everything. Because we do this because if you pick a book that you understand only half of, then you're going to just spend a lot of time looking up words or guessing at what the meanings are instead of just focusing on just a few words. And if you focus on a few words, then that will help your brain process a lot of the other grammar. So it won't be so busy trying to figure out what everything means. So, so yeah. the best way to acquire grammar through reading is to just read a lot of what is just above your level. And also try to read content that's actually interesting. Otherwise, you're just going to get bored and unmotivated. So, that's the best way to acquire grammar through reading.
Okay, and should I write any I would say particularly unique sentences grammatically when I encounter them? Do you understand me?
Yeah, you can do that. It won't hurt. I personally don't think it's necessary, but you can do that. Yeah, if you want to learn more about how a structure works, and like you pick a certain sentence that has a structure that you want to learn more about, and yeah, you can do that. It won't. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And who knows? It might actually. It might help you understand that structure better so that you could use it in other situations. Of course, you could also just keep reading, and then you might get exposed to that structure enough times where you just get it naturally. But it won't hurt to look it up. That's fine too.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, let's go to the next one. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So the first thing I want to say about myself is that I'm not actually American. I'm actually Middle Eastern. I'm Arab. So hello, everyone. A lot of people tell me that my English is very fluent, which, I understand. I've studied English for 10 years. But anyway, this is not about me. My question is actually from my sister. She's like, a beginner at learning English. So that's why she wanted me to talk, because she didn't know how to, speak. She's kind of shy.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, her question is how can you differentiate between they, like, there, and there, like, the three theirs. I don't know how to explain it to her, so I thought that maybe you could.
Oh, okay, cool. First of all, your accent is actually very good. I'm quite impressed. I honestly thought you were a native for a moment. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, a lot of people assume that.
Yeah, that's very good. Oh, hi, Maggie. So that's actually a good question, and it's one that a lot of native speakers mix up too. So let's start with, let me list these forms first in the chat. There, and there. So, okay, so let's start with there, with the apostrophe, like THEY apostrophe RE. This literally means they are. Oh, shoot. I did not write that correctly. My bad. Thank you, Average. Okay. So there with the apostrophe means they are. So when you say they're late to the party, it means they are late to the party. So that there, THEY apostrophe RE, means they are. So that's what there is. The first there. The second there, that's spelled THERE, that refers to location. So when you say my phone is over there, you're pointing to a location. Like my phone is over there on the bed. So that's THERE. So it refers to location, or like, where something is. And then there's THEIR. So that refers to possession, like who owns something. So you could say someone left their book bag downstairs. There, in this case, is referring to someone. Like, it's showing who owns the book bag. So there, in this case, means this person owns this thing. So that's the form of there that indicates possession. So those are the differences between those three, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask my second question now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. My sister also wants to know, and I think like generally everyone who like wants to learn English wants to know, is the difference between your and your, like the one with the apostrophe and one without the not apostrophe.
Okay, that's another good question. So your without the apostrophe means, again, it means the same thing as there, possession. So in that case, when you say you left your phone in my room without the apostrophe, that means that you own the phone. You left your phone in my room. And that's okay, so you're with the apostrophe, it means you are. It literally means you are. It's a contracted form of two words. Like there with the apostrophe, they are. So an example would be, you're always, oops, I can't type today. You're always so nice to me means that you are always so nice to me with the apostrophe. So that is what your with the apostrophe means. You are. You're always so nice to me. You are always so nice to me. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say if it was actually possible for me to become one of the teachers, since I'm fluent and all. I was actually thinking about teaching people English, since I'm fluent and all that.
Oh yeah, it's very much possible. There's actually, I believe there's a form you could fill out. I can't remember where.
Can you please send it to me? Because I cannot find it.
Yeah. Oh, I think Maggie's going to type it in because, honestly... Oh, yeah. See Join Staff. So go to that channel, and they'll tell you what to do over there.
Is it at the top?
I think so. Let me see.
I can't find it.
Yeah, at the very top. Underneath the server section. At the very top. So start from the top, and you'll see it under the Donate channel and above the Bot Commands channel. Or you could just click on it. That works too. Click on what Maggie just put in the chat.
All right. Anyways, everyone, you have a good one, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, we could always use more non-native teachers. Yeah, they always have interesting things to say about the English language, as well as native speakers, of course. What was I going to... Someone asked another question here. Oh, well, never mind. Never mind then. But yeah, those were good questions she just asked, because a lot of native speakers mix those up. And, okay, if you're non-native and you mix those up, you typically have an excuse, because, they all sound the same. But with native speakers, yeah, they sound the same, but you'd think that after learning the language for so long that they would, know the difference, but they don't. Because if you make these mistakes and you're a native speaker, chances are you don't really read or write very much in your language. So, yeah, because this is something that I see more natives. Natives tend to do this. It's usually natives that are doing this. I rarely see non-natives make these mistakes. But, yeah, so... But yeah, like, those were good questions to ask. Okay, Yeah, I saw your question from earlier. I mean, I technically already answered the question like that, but you can go ahead and type it in the chat. Oh, I see you're already. Alright, I see you're already in the list. Okay. Well, let me go ahead and just start. While you guys are typing your questions, let me go ahead and let this person come up on the stage. Hi.
Hi, teacher. First, this for my English. So for my English, this is my.
It's okay.
I am understand for English, but I don't speak for. I don't create a sentence.
Sorry. So what was your question?
I am understand for English, but I don't create a sentence.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Okay. That's actually quite normal. It's normal for language learners to understand more than they can actually speak or write, for that matter. That's quite normal, and it's not really something that you need to worry about, because over time, your speaking as well as writing will eventually come out on its own. So if you can't speak or write now, then you just need to wait longer and keep exposing yourself to the language, and eventually your English will start coming out on its own really easily.
Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, a lot of good questions today. Grammar is sometimes so confusing. Yeah, sometimes there are some things that sometimes it's not explained very well, and sometimes it's just the concepts are so abstract that there's just no point in explaining them. Okay, the reason for that, Elliot, is that you don't really need to know grammar to be able to speak a language fluently. And yeah, it's often because people don't know any better with regard to grammar. Not to the point where they speak really badly, but to the point where they clearly don't sound. Sometimes they don't sound educated, and sometimes they just sound imprecise. So not exactly non-native, but just not very good either. Well, I would put you on the mic, but there are other people ahead of you, so I can't really jump. I can't really jump the queue like that. Yeah, and as someone else said, a lot of the time we ignore grammar rules in formal writing and speaking. Yeah, I'm glad that there are a few teachers as well as advanced learners helping out in the chat, because I do need the help. I mean, to be fair to Maggie, like you did say your role does say correct me, so I mean you technically are giving consent for people to correct you. But anyway, let me go ahead and tell me what's grammar. Okay, so going back to this question here, I understand the usage of it, but I need some guidance on how to explain how we use both tenses to talk about an ongoing action. No, the present perfect doesn't talk about an ongoing state. It talks about a completed state. So, okay, here. Let me type this in the chat. Here, let me type it. Maybe that will help you. Correct me anytime you wish. I'm always open to constructive criticism. That's good. That's actually a very good quality to have. Grammar is important when trying to sound knowledgeable. Yeah, like it can help when you want to explain the language. Definitely. Okay, I need to get back to these hands because I have a lot of requests here. Well, you know, you'd have to say I've worked here since 2012. Although what you said isn't wrong though. Oh, it was a typo. Okay, it was a typo. Okay, never mind. It's okay. I get it. But yeah, that's correct. And you could also say I've been working here since 2012, but that would sound incomplete. So I've worked here would sound complete, or I worked here as well. But I've been working here makes it sound like you're not finished. So hopefully that answers your question. But let me go ahead and go back to these requests. So come up on the stage.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I have a doubt regarding the apostrophe and possessive. As far as I know, when we are using possessive, we add an apostrophe and an s to the noun. But I've seen some examples where it isn't used, the apostrophe, and other cases where they change like the order of the words. For example, when I want to say the mother of Johnny, I say Johnny's mother, but I've also seen examples like recommendation letter when they don't use apostrophe, or a letter of recommendation when they use of instead apostrophe and s. How could I know what to use in each case, or what is the difference in these cases?
Okay, so here, hold on. I think what he's asking is like because sometimes I think he's asking when you use the apostrophe s and when you use a different form to show possession, like with of. So he's wondering like when you say something like the dog's toy and something like the toy of the dog. Honestly, I don't know. That's a good question, and I have been asked that, but I was asked that once, but I cannot. I don't really know what the rule is behind it. I mean, with people, you definitely use an apostrophe s. It would sound really weird to use. Well, it depends. Like more often than not, you use the apostrophe s with people. So you could say John's things instead of the things of John. Like you wouldn't use of in cases like that, at least not as often. So honestly though, I think that's really the only general rule I could think of here. So with people, you tend to use an apostrophe s, but with I guess with other things, you would just be more likely to use of and then whatever. And as for as for something like letter of recommendation or recommendation letter, in that case, of is really more about like it's more about the exactly what the thing is rather than what's it's not really showing possession in that case. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's a different issue.
Okay.
And oh yeah, one more thing. So in that case, if you speak a language like Spanish, you tend to use of in that manner. Oh, do you speak it?
Yeah. Speak
Okay,
Spanish.
yeah, okay, that explains it. Yeah, so in Spanish you don't really use noun strings like that. You would literally say letter of recommendation. But in English you could say recommendation letter or letter of recommendation. So I think in this case, it just depends on the context. Like sometimes we natives prefer one form, sometimes we prefer another. I don't think there's a general rule in that case. Like you just have to go with what people are more likely to say in whatever case. But yeah, I can understand your difficulty because in Spanish you cannot put two nouns together like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I see that. Okay, so Laz L. So you say if you say I have worked here since 2012, it talks about the ongoing state. However, when I say I've been working here since 2012, it focuses more on the ongoing action. And I'd say in that first case, I guess it could be an ongoing state. I'm not sure. I'd read the first one in this case essentially means that you've worked here since 2012, but we don't know whether or not you're going to keep working there. But the second one means you've worked here since 2012 and you're going to keep working there. So that's what the difference is between those two. Okay. Oh, I know you know they're both right. Like, I'm just trying to explain the difference. Like, no, it's not necessarily ongoing in the first case. It's not necessarily ongoing. I mean, it can be, but not necessarily. Yeah, this is kind of hard to explain, honestly. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe the way you're describing it is correct, but basically, yeah, that's the meaning. Well, regardless of whether or not it's ongoing, basically the first one, the present perfect in that case would be, we don't know whether or not you're going to keep working there, but the second one means you're definitely going to keep working there. So that's really what the difference is. Now, how you describe it might be how how it's actually used. Maybe I don't know. Like I think, but I mean, at least you do seem to understand the difference, though, or at least you seem to understand how to explain the difference. Okay. You may come up on the stage.
Hello.
Hi.
So I'm native English. I live in Great Britain.
Okay.
And I was wondering if there's any way of me being able to remember spellings and remember stuff like that really easily, and just name it off my head. So whenever I'm doing a test or something, I don't have to go like, what is the spelling of this word if it's like an online test, and then I have to think about it for like 3.5 minutes and then type it. Is there any way that I could actually speed that method up?
Oh, that's a good question. See, and it's difficult to answer this because some people, some people are just very good at spelling and some are not. So I think the best way to learn the spelling of a word is to just it's really, I think it's more about exposure. Like if you expose yourself enough times to the word, you'll eventually understand how it's spelled, and then the other spelling will sound off or look off to you. So I think it's just a matter of you just have to keep exposing yourself to those words. I think that's the way to speed it up.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have one more question from my professor, who is not native in English. He only speaks Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And that is, how would he be able to say like a full formed sentence without pausing and without thinking about it?
Okay, that's actually a good question. It's honestly something that has to come on its own. If you get exposed to enough, to enough of your target language, like for example English, then eventually your English will start coming out on its own. So it has to be something that you need to do a lot of listening before that actually comes into play. So it'll be a while before you can get to that point.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Let's see you.
Oh, bye. Yeah, he said he was from Great Britain. I know some people are probably confused because he didn't really have a strong British accent or whatever. I don't know. It's possible that he might have just moved there. I don't know what his story is. But he does sound native to me in either case. Oh, no problem, Last L. Like, I understand. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know you guys have questions in the chat. I'm trying to keep up with them, but people are asking a lot. Do try to limit the number of times you type in the chat so I can see everyone's comments, because it's kind of hard to keep up with some of these. Yeah, his accent did sound rhotic, but in any case, let's go to the next one. Come up. So you should have gotten my invite. Rhotic means that you actually pronounce the R. Well, like by pronouncing it like as in rather than ah. That's what rhotic means. So instead of saying father, like in British English, you would say father in American English. So that's how you would do it. That's what rhotic means. I thought I just gave you a... Yeah, I sent you an invite. What's it? I don't know how to pronounce that. It's either Lago or Iago. I can't tell if that's an I or an L, lowercase l. I've sent you an invite, but I don't know why why he hasn't come up. You need a grammar website? I don't really have any to show you right now, surprisingly. Oh, he's gone? Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Maggie. Okay, well, I'll just go to the next person.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, brother. Chinman Ruler. How are you, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Honestly, I want to say some things before my question.
Okay.
There is this one guy. His name is Maggie. Okay, he sent me like forewarning, brother. What I do? I just joined the server and he scared me with forewarning. I will tell him to like reduce the warning or something, you know. And I'm new, okay. Anyway, brother, I also want to thank you for the help in the exam because I think the question you helped me with is the only one I got correct. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway. Oh. Anyway, look, brother, I have a problem with this. Okay. After the exam, I realized this. Okay. There is two type of past. Okay. You might have explained this before, but there is two type of past. There is past participle and past perfect. Was the same because all the time I confuse them. I don't know where I use this. You know what I mean?
So you're asking the difference between the past simple and past perfect?
Yes. It's so confusing, you know, like especially for me, non very native speaker of English. I'm not British. If anyone got confused, if they think I'm British, no, I'm not British. If anyone asking, yeah, I don't know how.
Okay, so so the difference between the past perfect and the past simple, I feel like this is easier to answer than the present perfect and past simple. So the difference between these two is that the past perfect doesn't make any sense on its own. So what I mean by that is that the past perfect needs additional context to make sense. So it doesn't work in isolation.
Okay. Like what? Give example, please.
Yeah. I'm going to type one up right now. So if you say something like, I'm trying to think of, okay. Oops. So if you say something like, I had finished my homework, that does not sound complete on its own. So if you said something like that, a native speaker would be like, when or by the time or something like that. They'd be waiting for something else. So if you use it in isolation, it doesn't work.
Okay, what is this? What you're talking about? This is the past participle.
Yeah, finished would be the past participle, and had finished would be the past perfect. So.
Okay. That's why I was wrong in the exam. They give me like 3 out of 10. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. You're
no problem.
Really good teacher. Chiman ruler number 15. Ami. Thank you, brother.
No problem.
And see you, everybody. Okay, I'm dipping. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Please.
Yeah. So the participle is just it's like finished or gotten or worked, and the past perfect would just be that participle form, the past participle with the verb had in front of it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, good use of the slang word dip. Yeah, which means to leave. Honestly, though, if you don't pass a grammar exam, I don't think it's always on the student, because some grammar exams or exercises in general are just crap. They suck because they often don't give enough context, or they give you answers that like a set of answers that couldn't possibly work in that situation or whatever situation. So yeah, if you don't do well on a grammar exam, it might not necessarily be because of you. So don't give up. But either way, whatever the reason is, don't be discouraged. You'll get it eventually. Yeah, see, exactly. Emma agrees with me. Anyway. I don't know about those exams, Yaman. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Yaman or... but, yeah, I've never taken... I've never had to, obviously, but I've never. I mean that I've never actually seen one. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen one. You know. And Nevermore posted a good graphic of the past perfect tense. I wanted to comment on it, but I forgot. What does Shima ruler mean, if I may ask? Oh, it doesn't mean anything. The first 3 letters are part of my middle name, and the last is just made up. Okay, so now it's finally your turn, Lazel, I believe. Come on up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Wow, I feel so special. Hi.
Hi.
All right. Actually, it's more about like just asking another a professional, like, you know, your opinion, because so like when it comes to the usage, I feel like when you're learning a language, for me, I learned the language pretty much when I started speaking, right? So when it came back to actually teaching it, it was a different ball game, because I had to kind of relearn, like I had to learn the rules as opposed to just as opposed to just using them, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked you that question about present perfect and present perfect continuous, right? Because I was having a bit of a difficulty explaining that, like in terms of, you know, these two ongoing things, in terms of an ongoing state and an ongoing action. I don't know, I feel like just asking this question pretty much makes it even more confusing, because I got so many comments like that, like, okay. So yeah, I don't know if I'm really asking any questions or making any sense right now. Like, yeah, hi.
That's okay. Yeah. Hi. So, yeah, I get it. Yeah, like it's so much. It is a completely different ball game to teach a language instead of just understanding it, because if when you're understanding it, you don't really have to know the why, you just know the what. But with
exactly no, so I asked you that question specifically just to kind of cross check if I was making sense, you know.
Yeah, and I think your explanation does,
you know what
hold.
I mean, like,
yeah, I get it. Yeah,
because like when you're like for example, like if you're using the present tense, if you say I've read a book, you're not really focusing on when exactly you've read that book, but on the finished action, the fact that, like, you know, your current status right now is that you have read the book, you know what the book's about.
Yeah.
Right? So in that same strain, if I'm saying I have worked here since 2012, it basically talks about the ongoing state, right? As opposed to I have been working here. If you say I have been working here, it implies that the action is still continuing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It would like I'm sorry guys, like for everybody else, like it would be nice for you to give me some feedback. Like, am I making sense, or is that like even more confusing?
Yeah, I totally get it. And one thing I could recommend is that if you sometimes showing like graphics where you show like the tenses on a timeline, like sometimes that could help. Yeah, so if words don't work, then visual representations could.
Yeah, so yeah. So you know, when there was a student who had come up and asked you a question, right? And it's one of those things, like when you hear it in a sentence and you realize, okay, like how would I actually explain this, you know?
Yeah.
So when he was asking you that question, I understood it. But then I was putting myself in your position, like how would I explain I have worked here since 2012 and I have been working here since 2012? Because when you hear it for the first time, it feels like they're both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But actually, if they were saying the same thing, there wouldn't be a need for them to exist, for both of them to exist at the same time, right? So it's about that purpose. So I was just kind of just cross-checking with you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to just kind of bombard you with these questions.
No, you're fine. Yeah, they're good questions. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so so that was clear, was it?
Yeah, it was clear. Yeah, I get it.
Okay. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Like, I kind honestly, like, I'm a nervous person. Like, I kind of wasn't prepared for you to give me like a chance to speak. So I was just like kind of passively waiting.
No, it's okay. No,
when you
you're.
actually called me up, I was like, yo, like, what do I say?
No, it's fine. Yeah, you're being perfectly patient. Don't worry.
I think by the way, I have to commend you on like you're so systematic with the way you answer. Like this is like we have like what 77 people online to answer like these questions like and think on your feet. Like I think that's super commendable. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, anyway. Thank you so much. Like okay, I think someone else should take the stage. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's Indian English, so yeah, see, my parents are from Nigeria, and they are native speakers of English, but they have an accent because in Nigeria there's an English dialect, so yeah, like you don't exactly have to like there are many English dialects, so yeah, like yeah, and her grammar was perfect, so I don't really see how she's not like a native. I mean, otherwise she wouldn't like have that color, and which I didn't notice until now for some reason. I don't know why. I was like, oh yeah, you have the orange color. I'm stupid, but anyway. Okay, so let's go back to these hands. Throwing hands. Oop. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me get out of here. Wrong one. Okay, let me disconnect from this. I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh my god. Okay, I'm stupid. Yeah, I went to the wrong thing. Oh my god. Oh, you've done that too, Maggie? I know, it's like I meant to click something else, but I clicked on a different stage. Yeah, I like your accent. I actually like it a lot. Yeah, most of the native speakers here are from Britain or from UK or from America, so it's nice to have others here. I do believe that there's one here. Oh well, no. I mean, Ireland's technically in the UK, so whatever. But yeah, plenty here from Britain, one from Ireland. I said Irish, Ireland. Plenty from America. I think I saw one from Singapore once, but I can't remember. But anyway. Your accent, it's not bad. You don't sound native, but it's not bad. Yeah, Ireland is its own country, but it's technically part of the UK, right? Isn't the UK like, unless it's not, then my geography skills suck. But like, wouldn't it be part of like? Isn't it made up of what? England and Ireland. But if it's not, then I can't geography. I suck at geography. Anyway. Your accent? I don't know. I didn't get a full chance to listen. I know you're not speaking you don't speak Iberian Spanish because I didn't hear. Well, I don't know. Yeah, no, you don't sound like you're from Spain to me, but I don't know. Okay. I'm guessing you're from. I know you're from somewhere in Latin America. I guess what? Shoot. I don't think you're from Chile. I don't know. I'm gonna guess maybe Colombia, Venezuela. I don't know though. I'm not entirely familiar with these accents. Okay, let me go back to... Yeah, so Alan's going to have a class soon, so I don't want to, like... I know he said he was willing to do a class later, if I needed more time, but I don't really want to make this any longer than it has to be, so we can go for about 30 more minutes. Well, 25 if we, because I don't want to end at like 3. Okay, so let's go back to these hands. Catch these hands. No, I'm kidding. Come up to the stage. Lion fire.
Hi.
Hi.
I just had a quick question. If I had the word morti, a plural of it, would it be mortises? Wait, sorry, yeah. Or would it be something else?
I'm sorry, so you're asking... I didn't catch that.
So if I had the word mortal...
Oh.
And if I change it to plural, what would it be? Because I was having a discussion with someone about it.
Oh, it would be mortals.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't catch what you said earlier. I was like, oh, you said mortal. Yeah, so it would be mortals.
Okay.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Demonic, I know you've been wanting to speak. Come up.
Thanks.
Hey, no problem.
So, this question might be a bit more mundane than what you're used to,
Mhm.
but I was curious about your opinion on it. You know how using quotation marks for emphasis is technically grammatically incorrect, but I do it, and I get good marks on my classes for it. None of my teachers seem to take offense at it. So, do you think its use is improper, or do you consider it to be a valuable asset in, writing and expressing emotion and conviction in writing without having to use complicated diction, or, for example, sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it's okay. Oh, wait, one moment. Hold on.
You all good there, man? Seems I have a captive audience. I'm sorry, I'm not very entertaining. I think teachers is more better in the spotlight. Yes, big think, I'm sure. I guess my question was just that vexing as to take a while to really parse the meaning of it. Welcome back.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Sorry.
No, it's no problem.
Okay, so you were asking whether or not using quotation marks as a form of emphasis is grammatically Correct.
I know it's grammatically incorrect on just a technical basis.
Oh,
but
I
is
see.
it wrong to use because if you go about it with how things are used, you can make the argument that slang words and I mean even the Webster's dictionary defines words as their definition is defined by how they're used, not their textbook definition. So since I know that the majority of people use quotation marks for emphasis, you could argue that it is grammatically correct, but I'm not going on that angle. I'm just curious whether you think its use is proper, especially for anything might, like a college application or a university paper or a thesis.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I don't really see what's wrong with it. I mean, it's I don't really see what's wrong with it. If I personally don't have any problems with it. I wouldn't do it myself, but I don't really have any problems with it. So, like, if whether or not it's standard, of course that's not what we're arguing, but whether or not it's standard, I just don't have a problem with it either way.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, because it doesn't really impede communication, so
it doesn't, because it doesn't interrupt the flow of conversation.
Yeah.
It's just interpretation, and while it may be misinterpreted by people who haven't seen its use in that way, I'm pretty sure most people have. Like I said, its use is very widespread.
Yeah. And it may eventually become the standard, because standards change over time, so...
Yes, it might have already done so.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the majority of people who use it, it could already be the standard, which is why right now the only thing really in its way is textbook definitions, which haven't really gotten its way before.
Yeah, so yeah, you have made a compelling argument. I don't really disagree with it, so yeah. It's...
Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, well, I won't take any more of your time.
Oh, no problem. But
it's kind of me pressing this big red button, or do you have to do something? First time on stage.
It's okay. I think you just... I think, no, you there should be a button on the left that says move to audience if you want to keep listening. Or for the red button, you could just leave the whole area.
I don't see that button because I'm on... Oh, wait, no, there it is. All right, thanks.
No problem. Yeah, that was actually a very good question to ask. Like, I wouldn't... Yeah, it's like, don't... Like, it's nice to worry about what's standard and not standard, but don't worry about it to the point where, because honestly, using quotation in that manner, I don't think it's a big deal, honestly. Whether or not it's standard, as long as it doesn't impede communication, then it's fine. So, yeah, just you do you. But again, like, if you are going to make deviations from the standard, just be careful with how you do it. But, I mean, using quotation marks that way, not a big deal. Twerking. They were disciplined for quote-unquote twerking. Okay, Oh, you have to go, Emma? Okay, bye. Thank you for coming. Oh, you could push the hand button again, too? Oh, cool. Do you use apostrophes to emphasize, but oh, you do use apostrophes to emphasize? Oh, okay. Oh, by apostrophes you mean quotes. Okay. Yeah, and regarding the whole quote thing, quotation mark things, so it depends on the dialect, because the weird thing is that in British English you use single quotation marks for quotes, but in American English you use double quotation marks. And if you have a quote within a quote, then for the quotes within quotes you use single quotation marks in American English, but in British English you use double quotation marks, and it's just so weird. Like, I don't know why it's different between the two, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, if you use apostrophes to emphasize, it should have context, because you don't just quote things out of thin air. No, don't do that. Okay. But English is weird. So, next person. Ooh, advanced speakers. Come up, Anthony.
Thank you so much for having me here on the stage. Here's a question that I always believe that making like conversation, all that matters is to delivering my ideas is all that matters. But when I come up to Discord to talk to some interesting guys, and at that time I realized, oh my god, I'm always making grammatic mistakes, and I wonder if there's any practice for me to like sharpen that part, to like practice the grammatic skills. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a good question. I hold the stance that it really does matter more as communicating something and being understood matters more than being grammatically accurate. But of course grammatical accuracy is nice to have, and you don't really want to, if you really want to sound like a fluent speaker, even to the point of sounding native, of course you do eventually want to brush up on that. But okay, so the way to do that is to just simply keep immersing yourself to written and spoken English, because listening a lot will help very much with speaking, and reading a lot will help with writing. So if you're making a lot of grammatical mistakes now, if you just keep exposing yourself to English, eventually those mistakes, well, most of them anyway, will just disappear. So I wouldn't worry too much about grammatical mistakes now, because if you do, that might slow you down with your speaking and writing. So just focus on trying to get as much exposure to spoken and written English as you can. So yeah, exactly.
Thanks
Practice.
a lot.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
that's really useful. Yeah, thank you.
Practice makes more perfect. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, basically just listen. Keep listening, keep reading. You'll get it eventually. Yeah, and see, this is why it's important not to focus so much on grammar or being grammatically accurate, because again, that can actually get in the way of writing or speaking. Because if you're worried, oh my god, I shouldn't have used a contraction here, or oh my god, did I use this apostrophe correctly, or stuff like that, it's just going to get in the way of your writing. And I find that it's better, like if you're teaching second language learners, I find that it's better that you focus more on the content of what they're saying than on the grammar. And over time, the more they do this, the more those errors will disappear. And you won't even have to teach them anything. But if you focus so much on grammar at the beginning, that's really just not going to help you. Don't quotation marks sometimes get used for marking sarcasm? I think so, sometimes. I think. Yeah, I think they are. Most Indian English speakers I know are excellent. Yeah, they are. Like, I knew this one girl. Well, she's from India, but she grew up in the U.S., so she has an American accent. But she technically speaks American English rather than Indian English. But yeah, but she is aware of both dialects. So yeah, she's a very good speaker. Ooh, I hope you do become a teacher, Demonic. I think you'd have some interesting things to add. You too, Lazel. I think you both would be very good teachers. Yeah, anyone who's native or advanced, yeah, be a teacher. We could always use more of you. Oh, you're welcome, Lazel. Yeah, that's a good example Maggie brought up. He said he couldn't come because he was quote unquote busy. Important grammar, no. Understood, much more important. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, like as long as you're understood, that's really all that matters. I mean, grammatical accuracy will come eventually. That should come after. You should focus on that after you've already become fluent in the language. Because okay, well, think about it this way. What would you rather have? Would you rather be fluent? Would you rather, like, say, have an accent and sometimes make grammatical mistakes, but be fluent to the point where you could, express yourself very easily in whatever language you want? Or would you rather have, like, say, no accent and be grammatically correct most of the time, but have problems speaking fluently? Or having problems putting your thoughts into words? Which one would you want? You'd probably want the first one. Like, I'm learning Spanish, and I make grammatical mistakes there, like dumb ones sometimes, even though I know the right ones. Like, what I should say, sometimes my brain is like, nope, I'm saying this instead. And I'm like, crap. But I know it's going to go away eventually. But anyway, let me go to the requests here. Tex, come on up. Yeah, I mean, you can have both, Tom, but like I'm just saying that if you had to choose between the two, you'd probably want the first one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
How can I mix like two sentences with like relative pronouns?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm just kind of like, I just need like, I'm like, I have like a homework I have to do, and like I don't understand how to like mix two sentences, using a relative pronoun.
Okay, so you're asked. So you want me to give you an example of a sentence that uses a relative pronoun to join
like two sentences. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, let's okay, so here's my example. Can you see it?
Where?
It's in the class's chat.
Yeah.
So that's the place where I was born. That would be an example. Where here is a relative pronoun. So are you trying to ask like? So you're having problems with relative pronouns?
Yeah. No, that's all.
Okay, so I believe the relative pronouns are like what? Who, what, where, what other ones are there? I'm trying to remember. Which, yeah, thank you, which. I feel like there are other ones. Does how count? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I guess not. That, yes, that. How could I forget that? That's like the most important one. It's just very important, I should say. Not really the most important one, but very important. Yeah, and whose works too, and whom. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so those would be the ones. Yeah. Oh, you googled it, right? Yeah. But yeah. Those are the ones. So. Okay, so relative pronouns, they're often used they're used in what we call adjective clauses that modify certain nouns. So like for example,
like here's the place where I like ate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the place where I ate like last night. That's like an example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in this case, where I ate describes the place. What place? Which place? The place I ate. So yeah, that's basically what they're used for. These pronouns are used to describe nouns in the main clause. So
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm sorry if I disturbed you or it was a stupid question, but I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's relevant to the class, so it's fine.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh yeah, and those are also ones like whoever. Yeah, this one I had to look up too. I'm just like I can't remember. That's just embarrassing. But I mean, there's only so much about grammar that you can learn. But anyway, I live in Egypt where you can find the pyramids. That works, but I would put a comma there because if without the comma, it implies that there's more than one Egypt that you're talking about, which doesn't make any sense. So I would say I live in Egypt, comma, where you can find the pyramids. But other than that, that sentence is fine and it makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I live in Egypt, comma, where you can find the pyramids. Your old English teacher remembers every single rule in English. Wow, even I can't do that, and I've been told I have a very good memory. So, and yet there are things I forget about grammar. And I've been a huge grammar nerd ever since what, 3rd grade? Because that's the when I started noticing that I actually had quite an affinity for grammar. Because I corrected the teacher once. But anyway, but yeah, if you can remember everything, then good for you. That's really awesome. Okay, let me go to G-Man.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, my question was that, let me write it on the chat. The use of dashes, well, wait a second, hold on. Oh, here it is. I mean, I know in Spanish how they work, but I don't know how they work in English. I don't know if they work the same or if they are the same dashes. In what I've written in the chat.
Okay, so...
I don't know what... I don't know. You know what I mean? What I've written in the chat?
Yeah, I do. So, well, for one thing, the dash, if you're going to use dashes like that, they have to be longer, because these dashes are just yeah, they're just hyphens.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which ones are they? I mean.
Yeah. So they should be. There's actually 3. I should say that there are 3 types of dashes: hyphens, M dashes, and N dashes. So, I need to look this up because I forgot what the difference is.
I mean, that hyphen I know that works differently in French, but I don't know how it works in English. I mean.
Okay.
But in English, I know that these things use us to connect adjectives like $2 million budget, for example. But I don't know if they, well, as you said, I don't know, they don't work this way. Those are the dashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think. Okay, I see this now. Okay, so. So regarding dashes, so as I said, there are 3 types. So the hyphens, they're used for say something like I should say compound adjectives. So for example, human turned vampire. In that case, that's a hyphen.
Something like this.
$2 million. Yeah, that too. Or just $1 million. That works too. So, an N dash is
M dash.
Yeah, so this is used to mark a range, like a range of numbers. So, so for example, 6 to 9 minutes, or 2018 to 2019, like the years. So that's what an N dash is. So
okay,
and it looks like a hyphen, but in this case it has a different function.
Yeah.
And an M dash, the one that you use in your example, really, it's the longest one. So it's used to mark interruptions in thought or speech. So going back to your example, well, I'll just make one up. So the book I bought, a rather expensive one at that, was so interesting. I mean, like, normally M dashes would just be a single long dash, but I don't have that, so I just use 2 dashes instead.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. I'll just search it in the corner. So those would, like, the M dash is the dash I'm searching for in like the one I should use on the example I've put above. I've written before.
Yeah. So did that answer your question? Oh wait, is there a reason why using commas instead would be incorrect? I don't think it would be incorrect, but I feel like it would. I feel like you could use commas there too, but I think using dashes would have a sharper interruption. But that's just me. I don't think using commas there would be wrong.
All right.
But going back to you. So, did you want to ask me anything else? Or is there something I haven't cleared up?
No, yeah, that was basically it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Bye. So if you all want to look up what I was just talking right now, so look up hyphen versus N dash versus M dash. Oh, you're welcome, G-Man. Because they're all used very differently in punctuation, and yeah, it's important that you not mix them up. Well, it can mean it had or it would. It depends on the context. It's like some contractions can mean 2 different things, so we would need more context. But anyway, I should be ending the class soon, so I'm going to take this last question from, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. But come up on the stage.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Caxton, actually.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. I didn't want to risk mispronouncing it.
Alright, just a quick question. I'm actually having trouble with and for example, let's say I'm introducing myself. I'll go like, I'm Caxton and I'm 20 years old. I'm a student and I'm from India. You see, like I'm putting a lot of and in the sentences, and it doesn't like. I have this crazy fixation with and it doesn't look good.
Okay, I see what you mean.
I mean, it naturally. I just keep adding and.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so I think it just depends. Like, sometimes you can do that and it would not sound bad, but sometimes it just doesn't sound very good. So, like, let's say like, I think using multiple ands is fine if you want to emphasize different things. So you could say, I have a driver's license, and I've been driving for 20 hours, and I have insurance. So, like, if someone doubts your driving abilities, and in that case, and would make multiple ands would make sense. Though you can take them out, but multiple ones would make sense. Would probably deliver your point a little better than just not using multiple ones. But
So if I go like I'm Caxton and I'm from India and I'm 20 years old.
yeah, you don't need to do that. No, because like you're not really emphasizing anything. You're just listing different things about yourself. So you could just take off the everything but the last and it would sound better. So.
So it's all right to use a lot of and.
Yeah, as long as if you're gonna use multiple ands, like use them when you're emphasizing different things rather. But if you're just listing things normally, like without emphasizing anything, then don't use multiple ands. That would just sound annoying.
So is there any alternatives for and actually?
That's a good question. I don't. That's a good question. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. In addition to, someone provided one there in the chat. In addition to works. Furthermore, that works too. Although you'd have to phrase the sentences differently. Or you could just put them as separate sentences. That works too. But yeah. Yeah, so you could rephrase a sentence and use what they just suggested. That works too.
Oh, in addition to plus, and I don't know what Maggie meant, by the way. Try silent.
Oh, she just means like using just making them separate sentences. So like putting a pause, a pause between each one.
Like taking
Yeah, like basically periods at the end of your sentences. That's. Yeah, or pauses. Right. Yeah, exactly.
And can I ask one more quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I see the chat, why do I feel like my English is like fading away, just going away from me?
I think it's just nervousness, but I'm not sure. I don't know your entire story. You could be nervous, but I'm not sure. Like,
nah, it's like people talking complicated stuff that I've never heard of. Like.
Oh, well, that could be it too. Yeah.
And like, thing is, like, when I speak, I don't make grammatical mistakes, but when I'm writing, it's like I have this nervousness that like taking over me, and it's actually the other way around. Like, I'm taking big pauses when I'm writing, not speaking.
Huh. I don't know. I think maybe it's because since grammar tends to matter more in writing, perhaps you're prone to overthinking in that case. That could be it. But I don't know. I don't know your entire story, so I'm just giving suggestions as to what the issue might be. Perhaps you just really want to sound just right in writing, and you're just scrutinizing your sentences a bit too much. But that's just one possibility.
Yeah, got it. Like, yeah, I need to provide you the full context. That's all right. Yeah, thanks for helping me out, Chiman. Really appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drop out right now. Bye.
Bye. Okay.
And Alan is waiting.
Oh, he is, but he told me that like he didn't mind waiting, so he said he was just yeah.
We can't let him wait for like a long time. Yeah, have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, see, there he goes. He says, take your time. I still don't want to take too long because he normally does have class at this point. I was trying to keep it short, but so many good questions. I'm just going to take one more. I really don't want to throw the entire schedule off. So someone has one more in the... David, come up. Oh, you don't want to? Oh, are you sure? Oh, you don't mind if I take as much time, Alan? Okay. Although, honestly, I think that's pretty much all the questions that people have. But if anyone has any... Yeah, so, okay, yeah, I will do that, Alan. So, after my class, right after my class, Alan's class will begin. Oh, no problem, Lazel. See you later. Thank you for coming. You certainly had some interesting things to add to the discussion. But, like, if anyone has one last quick question before I leave and Alan starts his classes, then go ahead. Because he said he didn't mind waiting. Oh, okay. You want to come up? Okay, come on, David. Yeah, come on.
Hello?
Hello. What's up?
I'm good. I just wanted to say thank you for the class, and I didn't have a question. I just put my hand up and I forgot, so...
Oh, it's okay.
Reminding me. Yes.
No problem. Thank you very much.
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, see you later. And, yeah, don't worry, guys. He's coming. Like, I just need to finish up my class. So, if no one has any other questions, I will just go ahead and stop right here. Oh, thank you. All of you, thank you. Yeah, no problem. And one last thing I want to say. So, poggers? It's like, what? Poggers! But, no, I'm kidding. So, I'll see you later, Cray. But yeah, key takeaway here, and of course Alan does try to mention this in his classes, but I will say it here. Before you even touch grammar, you should focus on communication and self-expression. Those matter more. Grammar can come after you've already established a solid foundation in the language, and at that point you can just clean up your speech and writing. But if you focus on grammar earlier than you should, then that can get in the way of speaking and writing fluently. And this goes for native speakers too. Like, if you focus too much on grammar when writing, that's just gonna mess you up. Like, just like the grammar can just wait. So focus. So again, the focus really should be on communication and self-expression. Because of course, your grammar will get better over time. It will. So focus more on just being on communicating and being understood than on trying to sound as accurate as possible. Yeah. I'm glad you found it interesting, Rico. Yeah, that's what I recommend. Just go with what sounds natural. You can always check the grammar later, and when you do, you'll be like, oh, okay, I know all of this except for this one part, and I just incorporate that one tip, and then boom. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Don't be hard on yourself. But if no one has any other questions, I'm just going to go ahead and leave. And I will go ahead and stop the recording. And I will post it on... I'll post my recording of this lecture on my YouTube channel, so look forward to that. So thank you all so much for being here, and thank you, Alan, for being patient and waiting. I did try to finish quickly. I was just 10 minutes off, but that's fine. You were willing to wait, so I appreciate that.
You are more than welcome. As I say to students all the time, it is so important to be exposed to a variety of teachers. Every teacher has their own experience, their own perspective, their own style of speaking. As you're learning anything, especially something as varied and in-depth and complex as a language such as English, it's so important and valuable to be exposed to so many teachers. And Cheeman Ruler's classes, Cheeman Ruler, your classes are so popular. We're very happy to give you the space that you need. Very happy to do it.
And thank you so much. Yeah, I like your classes too. I like how you focus more on communication, because at the end of the day, that's really what language is about.
Yeah.
But
it is.
Yep. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and stop the recording.